Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm live here with Rileey. What up, man? How's it going?
Good, sir. How we doing? How we doing?
Oh, doing good, man. This is my last live show of the year. So happy. I actually have been doing YouTube for 1 full year right now,
Congratulations. Hell
and
yeah.
I did it. I got up to 100. Well, at the end of the year, I'm gonna do one more upload, so I'll have 102 videos uploaded by the end of the year. Finally, it took me a while to figure out my niche and stuff, and glad I got everything all straightened out. And yeah, just waiting to create more killer content in 2022, which is
Oh
coming
yeah.
up.
Next year's gonna be bright for everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody.
right.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So, and how about you, man? What have you been up to?
Lately it's all been working, reading, keeping to myself. I've been doing some self development, and because of the last interview I did with Alfie, buddies of mine want to start a podcast, YouTube kind of thing too.
Awesome,
So
cool, man. Yeah, and I talked with you over the phone, and seems like we were both on a self development journey. So I figured like it'd be cool to kind of bring you on here. I saw you on Afi's channel and everything,
yeah,
and
that
yeah,
was
that's
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what we can create, and see if this goes well. And we vibe. Let's definitely do another podcast.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's going to go well. But yeah, today we want to talk to you guys about why you should not be a nice guy, because we were both nice guys at one point, and yeah, it kind of sucked, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, what would you have to say? I would say the most terrible thing about me when I was a nice guy was just not having the fucking courage to say what was on my mind. Not being able to speak up to others, not confident to talk to women, always thinking I had to go out of my way to please women to get them to like me. And so, I mean, that's some of the things I've done as a nice guy, and I realized being on this journey that those are bad behaviors to have. We're not saying go out there and be an asshole or anything.
No, no, no. You have to find a in between middle between that in a
Hmm.
sense. I mean, you can't be a doormat, but you also can't be a complete dick either.
Right,
You find like
exactly.
that in between.
Right. So where would you say your journey has begun? Where would you say what were some of your nice guys stuff, and where would you say well, fuck it, I just want to make a change in my life?
Mine, oh man, I could write a book on that. Mine went from anywhere to being too needy, too nice, too yes man, too talkative, too up their ass, too social, not busy enough. I mean, too needy to not make decisions, based off
Mhm.
them. Like it was like at that point, we're like, okay, well, if I want to do something, they must be involved. And it's like, well, why am I trying to map my happiness or idea or vibes or energy around a woman when I should be doing it around myself, you know?
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things I realized at first, I was putting more of my attention on the women instead of focusing on me. I thought it had to be about her. And the same with anyone else. I mean, I know at work you kind of gotta, you can't how should I say, overpower your superiors. You got to kind of be obedient and stuff like that. But I mean, I'd say that with some of the clients I work with, because I'm a web designer and SEO expert outside of this. And I used to deal with clients too, and just would be unhappy all the time. They tell you what to do, and I'd still feel like I had to go and please them and shit. And same with women, when a woman would argue with me or get upset with me, I'd always put the blame on myself and feel like I had to go out of there and go out of my way to please her. And it was just a headache and stuff. And I don't know, after my last relationship, I mean, I was working, I had a mentor I was working with, not too before I, got into met all these other people I know today, but he, kind of taught me somewhat, say you got to watch out for yourself. You're the most important person in the relationship, not the other person. And I
Facts.
didn't really practice that. And and ever since that I got out of that last relationship with that I was in with this woman, this girl I was with, who I came out here with, I've been kind of more focused on myself and not working on putting the lady first,
Right.
not tolerating behavior that's disrespectful from some of my clients or some of the ladies I've dealt with, because like it can be really stressful. And I realized like when I was doing that, that was just dragging me down and destroying my confidence. It made me like think I was worthless and shit like that. But when
It
I
made you feel you weren't enough.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go, I don't know if you experience this, but when you actually go out there and you take that action, you tend to you say when you don't tolerate people's disrespect and you learn to like speak your mind. I think you become more confident in yourself and everything, and you become that guy who's not a nice guy anymore. And shout out to King Dre and Afi. Welcome guys to the show.
Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, you got to find that way to where like you can't be like a simp, a beta, but it's like at the same time you gotta like not give a fuck either. Honestly, I mean,
Right, and that was that was the hardest part at first, is making the change, like because I mean, even to this day, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I still give a fuck, but I'm doesn't it's not as bad as it was when I first was trying not to give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because I was conditioned to be a certain way for like half my life, and just going
right.
to make
That's how you told. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
What's that? What's that saying? A thousand cuts of I don't even know if I'm saying it. A thousand cuts of betazation or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know the
Because you
saying, but
learned
yeah, I guess if you're on the right path, you're on the right path.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You learn blue pill ideologies and stuff, and you don't. It's like with me, like I knew something was up when it came to being a nice guy, but I could never find the words or the right people or the sayings to figure out what was. And I always thought it was me, and it's really not me. It's just the way of thinking and how just you were taught and brought up. That
Yeah,
was
it's a mindset thing. I agree. Like, and it's just unfucking yourself from that mindset and just kind of trying to and working on developing that new mindset. And that's like the hardest. That was the hardest part. So like I told you when I was learning game with women, like I
yeah.
thought it was all about the skill set. I was not focusing
Mhm.
on my mindset.
Mhm.
I go out there, learn the skill set. I thought that's all I needed, and I realized also like I was weird one time. So I was on actually a boot camp in Las Vegas with RSD, and the guy, I was like the only guy out of like 12 people on the boot camp who got laid, and at that time I was only
There you
yeah.
go.
And, I paid like a big fee just to go on this thing. I didn't really get that much feedback, but I'd already been working with another mentor who got me to be out there to be more social with women, just go out there, not just with women, but just to make new friends in general.
Right.
And the instructor said like in the boot camp, it said like you gotta, maybe it's just a mindset thing. Maybe you don't believe you can attract
Hmm.
beautiful women, or you have a certain way of thinking. You got to unfuck yourself from
You
that,
gotta unteach yourself all the ways that you were taught prior to that.
right? And that
And
could be difficult.
it's a mindset. It really is because you think you gotta it's like the 1950s and the 1960s. You think you gotta ask a woman out, take her on a date, pay for dinner, do all this, buy her flowers, blah 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 blah. And I tell my mother this all the time. Dating now and back then, her age is night and day. It's not the same.
Right, exactly. I mentioned this on another podcast. Of my dad would, my dad would. I remember my dad would say, "You can't talk to women a certain way." Or I remember too, like I had a dirty car. He's like, "God, a woman would never want to be in that car of yours." But then, like when I go out on dates with girls, and I always tell them this too, and they have a messy car and they are worried about. I'm like, you know what? My dad always said to me, because my dad had that. He was raised in that era and everything. And
Right,
then,
right, yeah,
yeah,
proper and manners and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I still have a habit of saying yes, ma'am, and I mean, I still do to this day. But not every female deserves a yes, ma'am. But that's just my
right. No, I hear you. But yeah, no, it's like a totally different. Like I think like a lot of guys are born, raised and brainwashed to kind of go out there and just be these nice guys, and they not through just the media, but like through their parents, schooling and stuff like that. And because of that, that really screws them over in certain areas in their life. I think. I mean, I felt like until I kind of had that aha moment in my life, I was thinking most of that way. Like I always thought like you had to be respectful, that, or you had to
Right.
like fall in love with a girl in order for her to have sex with you. You had to do certain things. You had to take her out on certain dates. And when I broke away from that, I allowed that mindset and developed this new mindset. I realized there's a whole different world out there. It's fucking awesome.
It's a
I love it.
whole different ball game, man. A whole different ball game. It's like with me, like my father passed when I was 20. So he
I'm
really
sorry to hear
didn't.
that. I lost my dad too. So.
So he passed on some things, but I always felt like he didn't pass on enough knowledge to know this stuff. But in the same sense, I don't 100% think he knew it either. But
Mm-hmm.
who knows? I mean, there's no way to find out. I mean, but that's just what I thought. I mean, it took me a long time to realize this. Like I did the interview with Alfie. That's when I had my aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in this
What
space
you get,
about it. So
and what
what?
was your aha moment that you had with when you had your interview?
With Alfie, I noticed that the character that I had as a wrestler was who I should have been uh, outside the ring as that character. Because as that character, I didn't care. I didn't give an F. I yelled at people. I beat people up. I mean, besides the beating the people up, but just the confidence that came out of that character. I mean, I still had my issue with the character is I still dealt with stage fright and drama. Not
Mm-hmm.
drama, but anxiety, because I didn't like standing up in front of people. But once I got in that ring and I tuned into that character, it was game. It was like tunnel vision for that person who I was facing in that ring, and that was it. So
So
I
what do you
noticed that I
think?
should have been
What
that
do you think?
guy.
So why do you think that was when you went in there to the ring? Why did you become that character? What do you think
Well,
that?
back then I wanted to be a wrestler. That's what I was going. That's what I was going for. Like what you see on
Okay.
TV. I did that for 2 years, 3 years. Well, about 2.5, give or take. But I
Okay.
did that, and then that's what I wanted to be. But because of when I did all the research and everything on how to get to that and doing the work. I mean, don't get me wrong, the work's easy, but just seeing how many people actually make it without getting hurt or hooked on drugs or anything else along that line. There's not really a high success rate of making it to like WWE or something. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Right. No, I hear you. But yeah, so why? So I don't know. Why do you think you lost touch with that character though? Like, you know what I'm saying? In reality, like, was it-
well, like I said, around that time I quit, and then I never got back into the character because I never wrestled again. But because it felt like I think it was like a confidence thing for me. Like I had shit confidence and shit self esteem, and I still
Mhm.
have like little bits of it. And just because of how my past was with the bullying, and that was that was the only issue I had as a kid. That there was no broken home or divorced parents or any of that trauma stuff. That it's just I think I was too much in my head. I
Mhm.
won't tell you, oh, you look fine, or this one, you look good, blah, 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 or what does it say? Oh, my mother says that I'm going to end up with a wife and a kid. I
Mhm.
tell her all the time, what I always tell her. I tell her that if that's true, then she's either dead or a lesbian. That's what I always say. That's what I always say. So I don't believe it, but it's like you got to start believing in yourself and seeing it from your own point of view to where like you believe it and you just have that good energy and vibe to all right, I'm myself, I don't care what people think, I'm doing this, I'm going that way. If people want to follow me, cool. If they don't want to follow me, they're lost.
Right. Right. No, I hear you. No, I agree. You gotta, kind of put yourself out there, and you gotta, believe in yourself, and you gotta have that mentality that if people are gonna like you or not, you like you. I think you gotta learn to like yourself and everything. Most
Yes,
importantly,
yes,
instead of put like I was doing this for a long time, and I had this realization within the past couple of months, but I was always like focusing more on the outer world. And even now when I see that when I tend to focus on stuff in the outer world, then from within I try to negate that, because like I do when I do. There's an impact when you rely on external validation, or you compare yourself to other people, and that's always like the toughest part.
Mm-hmm. You always try and get that validation from anyone, and the only validation you need is your own.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it, and that took me a long time. I mean, every now and then I still get a little bit of it, but you just gotta just say fuck it and do it. I mean, honestly.
Right. Right. No, I hear you. So, what was your moment where you say like, okay? I mean, because maybe what does a nice guy? When do you think does he have that epiphany in his life, or that moment in life where you're just like, okay, enough's enough. I just want to change.
My I like I said, I've been in the space for about a year and a month. Mine was about a year ago. Long story short, when it comes to online and talking to people on social media, and then you get attracted to certain women on social media. So that happened. I basically, long story short, I had a Twitter crush, and then because of that, I found I stumbled onto her, and then she stopped talking to me because she thought I was talking about her when I was really relating quotes from Rollo's first book. And
Mm-hmm.
then from there, I found like Rollo's books. I literally did a search on Google and found like the Ways of the Superior Man, and then Rollo's books. And then I bought like 40 books last year, and I got like about 70 now.
Well, it looks like you got a lot of reading to
I'm
do.
halfway through them. I've already read 35 books this year.
Oh, that's good, man.
So,
But the important thing too is I think books are very informative and everything, but I think the best thing is to go out there and go and create experiences for
exactly.
yourself. Like
Yes.
a
Yes.
book's going to give you the knowledge, but you got to go out
You
there
gotta
and
go out there and do it.
it's like
It's like you can watch so much stuff on YouTube, but if you're not applying it to your life or to yourself, what's the point?
right. I mean, you could go, you could read a book on picking up girls, but if you're not going out there and actually practicing
Doing
it,
it, yeah,
you're not going to move forward. It opens your mind to a different
it
perspective, and
does. Yes.
I stumbled upon a lot of those books, like No More Mr. Guy, Mr. Nice Guy, The Rational Male.
Mm-hmm.
I've read The Way of the Superior Man,
The
This
game,
Method, The Game,
yeah,
all those books. But like, I think the most important thing is to go out there.
and play.
'Cause I felt like I was reading I was a big content consumer and everything. I go watch
Right.
everything on YouTube, read the books and stuff, but I wasn't really taking action. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, this stuff is, I'm watching this stuff, reading this stuff. It's like, hell yeah. That's another thing. Like, I mean, I think nice guys too are afraid to take, the right action, because they're afraid of because they don't value themselves, that they don't, they're afraid to like take the proper action that is necessary to move forward and stuff, or they come up with excuses all the time.
They're not their own priority. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're not making themselves, priority number one. That's what it really is. They're making other people or something else a higher priority than themselves. Is really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to stop doing that. I mean, I still have a habit of doing that every now and then, but not lately. I haven't.
Right.
So,
No, it's okay to I mean, sometimes put other people first, but I think you got to mainly focus on yourself and stuff. I know I did a lot of that too. And like, I had a friend of mine a long time ago, like say, Rob, sometimes you just got to be selfish. Cause like,
yes.
I was just, I was just constantly like going out of my way just to help people. Cause I felt like I wanted that validation from people and stuff. And that's what nice guys will do. And I wasn't selfish. Hey, Bernie's in the house. What up, Bernie?
Well,
Yeah, Bernie. He's on all the dating platform channel. I
yeah, I
love.
talked to Bernie.
Yeah, I would get Bernie on the show one of these days. He
He's
can
supposed
moderate.
to. He's supposed to have a channel soon, from what I heard.
Cool, Bernie. You're coming on my channel for an interview one day once you become famous on YouTube, or even beforehand. I'd like you to talk. I saw Bernie's thing on Instagram the other day. And it was. Are you following Bernie on Instagram?
Yes, sir.
He was talking about the scribe pen. I really like that. That was really cool. But no, Bernie seems like he seems like he really likes his stuff, and he listens to, I think, the right content and stuff. So I know
Oh yeah, me and
he's
him
gonna
basically follow the
yeah,
same
these
people.
days. But yeah, getting back to the stream here, like I mean the show, but I think yeah, a lot of nice guys are just afraid to go out and take action because they like I mean they're just afraid to. We were talking about being not being selfish. Like we have to like go out and we got to put ourselves first because I think when we put other people before us, I think sometimes we don't focus on ourselves, and
Correct.
that's where we fail to take action.
Hmm.
That's where we fail to like get on the proper path and everything.
On purpose, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it can be a pain in the butt, but yeah, you gotta. That's why you gotta put yourself first in certain things that you like because like when you put yourself first, you're gonna make the time to go out there and make things happen. Like, but you also got to have the discipline as well to actually go take the action and follow through, no matter how you're feeling and shit like that. Like, I did, it's funny. Like, I would always sometimes when I'd still like I let anxiety and stuff like hold me back, and I just realized even when I was going out there doing going out socializing with girls, I'd still get anxious and stuff. But I realized when you kind of just when you the more you do it, like, and the more you make it a habit
Yes.
and stuff, like you discipline yourself to push through all that, the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
It's not hard to talk to women. It's really not. I mean, and that took me a long time to realize it. I mean, it's not like a right way or a line or some special keyword that's gonna be like, huh? You just gotta go and do it. That's how you
Hmm.
do everything in life, you know.
Right. No, that's true, man. Yeah. Oh no. So why do you think women would find nice guys unattractive?
Because they're too needy, they're too nice, they're too ass kissing, they're too they treat them like a brother more than they would treat them like a boyfriend, honestly.
Hmm.
I mean,
But
it's
they
like
probably just take advantage of guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
yep,
like they can get like stuff
free
from
stuff.
yeah, they can get stuff like as far as like you can get them to buy stuff and like they could pretend that they're going to have sex with them but just to get them to do stuff and take advantage of them. But then like then again that if they and that's their fault because if they get suckered into that and they don't put themselves first and realize that that because I think a lot of another thing that they find unattractive about nice guys is they don't go after what they want. A woman likes a guy
No,
what he wants.
they don't. They don't go after what they want. They're too compartmentalized, honestly.
Hmm. Right. So that could really make it difficult. Like 'cause I mean, when you're afraid to go after what it is you want, like, I mean, that again, that's going to hold you back from taking action. It's going to make you be anxious and shit. And if you want to make it happen with women, with business, with your fitness, with whatever it is you're doing, you got to have that ability not to get let the fear like hold you back. Because I think a lot of people just let the fear hold them back.
They do. 'Cause that was me for a minute. I mean, they always tell you if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. I mean, my biggest problem when it came to the women is I was always afraid of the rejection. And it's
Mhm.
just the rejection. They just tell you no and you go about your day. You don't let it affect you. You don't let it ruin your day, your mood, your vibe, your energy. You just, oh, okay. Have a nice day and you go.
Right. No, I know. I used to always hate rejection, but and I'm going to say shout out to Steve the Dean. I don't know if you know Steve the Dean at
And
all,
I'll see the Dean.
but I do mentoring with him, and he taught me more like you should just not give a f and just focus on you. The game, like he always says, the game is not about women.
No,
It's about you.
exactly.
And see, when you have that fear of rejection, you're making it what the woman says. You have the power not to
Mhm.
let that affect you or not. You're the prize, not her. And I think another thing a lot of nice guys do too is they pedestalize women and stuff.
I was just gonna say that. Yep, they
Yeah.
penalized. Yep.
Okay, now come on. Like, so what would be your nice? Cause I know you don't do this anymore, but what was your nice guy experience like that? I'll share mine afterwards.
Mine, when it came to women, it'd either be like I'd fall for them too quickly, and we'd have it. Like my thing is I have no problem talking to them. I have no problem getting their number. I have no problem texting them. It's just after that, I get to that point where I'd be like, I've had a few occasions where I've accidentally, gone like into the honeymoon phase of the puppy love bullshit. And I mean, I had an incident one time where that happened, and I got a speeding ticket over it on accident. But that's another story for another day.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
we're about to hear that. How I got
stupid shit.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happened with the Twitter chick. I did that, and you know, you're not supposed. You're always supposed to be a mystery to the woman. You know, you can't tell them everything. I mean, you can and you can't, but you can't always be up their ass either. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to always be busy, which I have no problem being busy. It's just the other little things I still every now and then. But lately, I mean, in the past month, no, honestly, I just been whatever and do my own thing. So
Mm-hmm. Right. No, I used to like, I always felt like if someone called, I had to answer the phone, or I always thought like if someone texted me, I had to reply right away and stuff. And I could be in the middle of doing something, and I'd stop what I'm doing. So
yeah,
those were some of my habits, and then like just not, I wasn't being who I was. I was being like this nice drone, like or robot, however you want to call it.
a slave. Yeah.
Now I to just be more transparent and authentic and everything. And I see that helps me out a lot rather than just holding back. So because I always thought like if I said the wrong thing or if I didn't do that, hey, this girl's not gonna like me.
It doesn't matter if the girl likes you or not. It depends on how well you are as a person or as a man to handle the situation.
Right.
So
So
it's not, it's not like, it's like, how do they say it? The code approach. You can get 10 numbers, and then out of the 10, 2 will reply, and then out of the 2, 1 will flake. I mean, at least it's some success, and then you can use that as like a small win, and then keep building the wins to get better at it. It's just experience and time. That's really all it is.
mhm.
I
Right.
mean,
No, have you done a lot of that recently, code approaching or whatever you call it? Or like, so how does that work out for you just starting out?
starting out, it was a little nerve wracking because I always would assume you'd have to get their attention, do something. I mean, like they say, you can do about it and go. Some people will say go 4 hours in code approach. I just do it about my day, but also at the same time, I work so much, so I really don't have 100% time. But when I'm, going somewhere, or I'm in the mall or something, I'll say something, hello, compliment them on, what they're wearing, what they're doing, and
Hmm.
then go about my way. I mean, sometimes I'll ask for the number, and sometimes I won't. But it's just, you got to feel the mood, the vibe.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah. I mean, that can be, that's kind of a challenge for me. I try to at least dedicate like 20, 30 minutes a day just going out there and being social with everyone. And, just if I see a woman, just, do an approach and stuff,
Right.
it's always good to try and get that in. But yeah, but you got to like, no matter how you're tired or busy, like I think like if you really want it, you'll make some time for it. I'm not trying to like, say you don't want, you're not it. I'm just saying
I mean,
that's not.
don't get me wrong. There's moments in the back of my mind that that say that. I mean, but you can't get stuck in your head and believe it. Your inner game is what you always got to work on. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
No, I mean, I've probably worked on that for like God, I say almost 4 years now doing that. And with everything going on, the past events with everything with people being afraid to like being close to one another, put a dent in it for a while. Just being going out there and talking,
oh yeah,
I still tried to like, well, I still made figured out a way just to get it done, but yeah, so I kind of put a dent in things for a while, but then I got so into the online stuff, and I kind of lost sight of that. And I mean, I was getting lots of success online.
oh I was doing fine online. It's just the people would be like, oh well, here's my OnlyFans or here's my Instagram, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Hmm. Right? No, that gets boring, but you get a lot of that stuff like on online stuff, like you get invites into stuff like that, but hey, that's
So
where the nice guys fall for the traps of that.
yeah. They think, oh my god, like you see on Instagram and other social media, you see all the comments, heart emojis. Oh my god, I love you. Call me. I DM'd you. I did this. I did that. I mean, I got hate on a comment off of who was it? The Torsha chick I who's now at 1500K that I talk about. Someone
Mhm.
called me a simp for telling her to take care of herself. I'm just saying, hey, whatever. But I find it.
Mhm.
I actually laughed. Now before I wouldn't laugh. I take it serious and personal because I was in my feelings. Stupid shit like that. But now I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. No, that's another thing. I think too, like a lot of nice guys get in their feelings, and that's one thing I'm still, I'm good at controlling, but that's one thing that's always kind of plagued me. But sometimes it's like an old habit that comes back, and
You take it too
it's
serious.
always like being in awareness, and it's having the awareness of that, and just learning not to let that drag you down.
You can't take it. You don't can't take women serious. Honestly, I mean, you really
Yeah,
can't.
can't take anything seriously.
No, and I'm still learning that, but I'm getting better at it. So it's like this month has kind of been like boom, 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 boom. Okay, I understand in the last 10 years. So it's like I'm finally like, oh, okay, light bulb, ding. You
Yeah.
know,
It's been a while since you've had an aha moment up until this month. What do you think is causing all those light bulbs to go out off in your head?
just like seeing things and remembering things and see how like they say, what is that? They say, never listen to what a woman says, always look by their actions. And it's
Mm.
like, there's things that I've learned from people, Dre, Alfie, MLD, Lucario. I mean, I could name a million of them, and you look like, you see like the body language and how they are and then how they act. And it's like, they get too emotional and then, you can't get too emotional with them, then it's just game over. And you just keep it cool, keep your emotions in check. And
Right. No, that's what you got to do. Yeah, you just got to be aware when those are just kind of spawning and stuff like that. When you're getting into that emotional state, because yeah, because I can just you don't want to go down that path again. But you realize I realized a lot of my actions in the past. The reason why I didn't do it was all based because I let my emotions control me, and that's what
say,
you do. Let your emotions control you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, they all say about that astrology and all the women follow that. I mean, I don't, I don't believe none of that shit. I mean, I'm a Pisces, but so what? You can't let that and emotions bother you. You just kind of just do that and go about your day.
Right, right. That's true. No, that's why I kind of like yeah, you just kind of you can't. I realize like yeah, it takes a lot of stress off your back too when you learn how to do that. I realize that when you learn to have that control over that because a lot of people don't have that control, or guys I
Mm-mm.
should say don't have that control, and they get all stressed out. But when I see myself with like see the emotions building up, I'm like, okay, this is just emotions. There's nothing to be frustrated about. Then
You can't get mad over. You can't get mad
oh
over stupid shit. You can only control. You can only control what you can control. You can't.
right.
You just can't let things bother you, and that took me so long to realize that. And now it's like, okay,
Yeah, but you got to be able. You got to be able, like, I mean, but you realize that though. But hey, once you have that awareness, like not to do that again, or you know what to do next time. And but no, you shouldn't let. Yeah, you got to put your emotions in check when with any situation you're in that where it gets bad. Not even just with women, because like I think when you put your emotions in check, you're just more focused and in charge of the situation. You're taking control. You're taking charge and stuff like that.
facts. Yeah, yeah, you can't let outside forces control everything that you do.
Right. No, and like again, it's another habit that you got to learn to develop, and then you're still going to slip back and forth. But it's weird though, like when you can do that, where you can may have that control and stuff. Like you're like I swear to God, it's just a lot easier to like kind of deal with certain situations that with women. When when shit comes up in life, with getting like shit's hitting the fan, all this shit's coming down you at once, and you got to realize you can't just like get all emotional about it. You got to
Okay.
go up and actually get up and do something about it rather than
Exactly.
being emotional. Because like when you're doing something about it, you're taking control of your life, and you're going to produce the result that you want rather than just sitting on your ass and being in your head about it. I think that was my biggest mistake back in the past. I would just like dwell upon things and
Oh,
like move forward, and that's what I've learned these past couple of years. It's just got to go do it anyways. Like, because like if you just sit around and cry and do nothing,
right. That's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, I
yeah,
used to dwell on it all the time. I mean, my thought process was so bad. I'd be like, well, what happens if this happens? Or what happens if that person don't like me? Or what happens if this goes wrong? So what happens if this person's mad because they're in a bad mood? And I would just like, and it's just
yeah, no, it's true, man. And yeah, and you just can't like you just got to just go with the flow. I mean, sometimes yeah, you're gonna you're gonna let shit bother you, but you just got to be a strong ass guy and just like fucking
push through
go
it.
through it despite yeah. That's one habit I'm that it's good you have to develop. I think like because like if you don't learn how to just push through shit, like I mean, like you're never gonna get nothing done. Because there's a lot of like I wasted a lot of my time in my life until I start finally decided enough is enough.
Right.
I'm happy with these goddamn steaks. I don't want to fucking play anymore.
Right. Right. You gotta just do it. I mean, that was me. Let's see, a year ago around this time. Let's see, it was COVID. It was still locked down. I worked the entire year during COVID, and the last 5 months of 2020, I was doing oh shit, about 120 hours every 2 weeks, maybe more for 5.5 months.
Hmm.
So I just, yeah, I mean, you couldn't do anything. So I just, so you just gotta say fuck it and do it. I mean,
Right. No, I even that during then I took a lot of time just to work on stuff in my life and stuff. Yeah, and I'd still go work on talking to girls. It wasn't gonna let it stop me. I just couldn't do it as much as I could. But yeah, you got to deal with the time. But I think that's what you got to do as a guy. You got to adjust to the environment that you're in. I think that's everything that makes a guy like strong. It's just being able to adjust to things that are happening at the moment. Right. So that way, when you can adjust and fine tune stuff to get through
yes,
whatever is going on or to move
try
forward with
try
your
whatever.
goal, that's how you do it. Like a lot of people don't, something happens or the thing they're not getting a certain result, they'll just want to give up and they'll just like say, screw this, and
It's like when they play Call of Duty and they get killed and they just kind of just quit the. Dre would know what I'm talking about. Where they quit the game early.
rage quit.
There you go. Thank you. Rage
Yeah.
quit. Yes.
I have
Oh
friends do that all the time.
man.
But you have to adapt, So,
Adapt and
but
learn. Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
and so that's how I've learned always to get by. I mean, I don't. I mean, I've you know, I wouldn't say fail, but tried a lot of stuff that doesn't work, and I still do stuff that doesn't work. But I don't let that like get me down, and I get frustrated about it. But I still try to kind of fine tune everything, kind of figure out, well, how can I make it better? Not just with talking to girls, but like when I go out there and do my marketing for my web design business, when I'm doing stuff for my YouTube stuff. You just got to let that frustration be the power that like just like pushes you to the next level and shit, rather than just let shit get you down. Like I go out, I talk to a lot of girls that that sometimes I don't. It takes me a while before I get numbers, but I don't let that frustrate me.
At least you're doing it and you're getting the experience. That's what
Yeah,
it.
that's the important thing is the experience and actually going out there and doing it. And then like I think going out there and trying something differently each time is what helps you, is going to help you get stronger and stuff. Like
Yes.
like Steve the Dean taught me like because I always judge the result. He's been talking a lot about judgment and stuff on his channel, and like when I talked to him about a month ago, I was just I told him how I get all frustrated with the result. He's like, well, you can't judge yourself, man. You're just like you're learning still, you're growing, you're trying something that new that you're not doing, and that's true. I realized that I judge. Sometimes I'd be afraid to talk to a girl because I'd be like, I judge her because I say, oh, she's not the type of girl who's going to want to talk to me. She likes those type, and you can't do that.
It's all in your head. You think a million things can pop in. Oh, you're not good enough. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm not. It's all those things that all the women say. The sixth sense is bullshit. And it's really all in your head. And a lot of people are stuck in their head.
Yeah, I think when you're stuck in your head, you lack clarity and shit, and that's why you fuck up. And like, especially if you're going to have an interaction with the women and you're thinking all these, they can read into that shit. I mean, they can tell when you're nervous. They can tell when you're not confident in yourself and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you got to have that clarity. I think clarity when you can just be clear. And that was always a problem of mine. Like, one of my old mentors, David X. I don't know if you ever heard of David X at all. Mm-hmm. He's an old school guy. He was a client of mine, and I was a client, with him. And he always said, what your problem is? The reason why you can't talk to women, or this, because first of all, you're too fucking smart. You're just thinking, and because you're smart, you're thinking about this, you're thinking about that, you're thinking about that, you're over analyzing this. And to add more spice to that, I had a creative personality, so I'm creating these scenarios in my head and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh man!
But I didn't. You know what? I didn't really. It's so weird. And after I'd known him, well, he passed away in 2011. But but no, not 2011, but 2000, 2020. But it's just weird, kind of after he passed, it was a lot of the stuff that he taught me was finally starting to stick.
Yes. Yeah. That's like with me and Rollo's first book. His stuff is now starting to what he says and what MLD does with his videos and shows. They're all starting to make sense and click. It's like a puzzle that you gotta assemble yourself, but it's gonna take a man to assemble it. You just you're trying to fit. What's that saying? You're trying to fit a square piece in a round hole,
right?
And and that's what you think is going to work, but actually, this is a better way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right? No, and that's true, man. It's just you gotta there's you gotta what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta have you got to be able to see that there's more than one way. There's different ways about growing things, and you find the one that works.
It's like I've always said. This is what I've said, and then I heard it's like they always say the grass is greener on the other side, and then I've heard now the grass is greener where you water it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you always got to improve, expand, and get better daily. Become better than you were yesterday, do better than you were a week ago. Just keep improving and get better, get what you want out of life. And yeah,
no, that's true, man. Well, that's what you gotta do. You can't I don't know, if you're afraid to take action in your life and you're gonna think the same thoughts all the time. You're not going to grow, but you have to be able to grow. If you're going to grow, you have to go out there and do the action, be able to be aware when your mindset's dragging you down and shit like that, or when external sources are bothering you, because you have to grow, but you have to have that awareness. You have to be able to take the action to do that.
You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Right, exactly.
And I still have a little problem with that, but I know I'm realizing that it's a problem. Before I was never thinking clearly about it, that maybe it was me stopping me. And now that I'm seeing it and realizing it, it's like, okay, now everything's kind of, so yeah, you gotta put yourself out there, basically. That's really
right. No, that's true, man. But you gotta do the stuff that's uncomfortable if you want to grow, man. That's what I learned.
Yes.
There's still, I guess, I'm trying to figure out what I'm uncomfortable with. So maybe for next year, I'm gonna work on some of those. I should say, disposing of some of those myths or anxieties that I have to grow. But no, it does work, man. I put myself through a lot of uncomfortable situations in my life, and I realized when I took action upon those, I swear to God, I never thought I'd end up where if I didn't take those actions and break out of my comfort zone or work with the proper mentor who I could talk with and stuff, I think I would be stuck where I was like 4.5 years ago, and like I wouldn't be here doing this right now. I wouldn't be
Right.
doing a lot of other things, and I just saw that to like just taking the action and putting the time in the shit and like, doing what I had to do to make things happen rather than let my fear of this, fear of that, like hold me back. And, I realized that I experienced like a lot of growth when I, didn't let my anxiety about women or being sexual with a woman, like hold me back from doing what I wanted to do. Like, or if say like, I'm going out there doing a bunch of cold emails for my business. I'm not getting any responses. Then finally I get, I go out there and I get some responses.
Yeah, so well, that's
Well,
like
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad, like same when I, right. I didn't really know too many people here when I first moved to Arizona. And, I signed up for these meetup events, but I would never attend them. And, mentor was challenges to go and meet up events, go meet people. And now I'm hosting or I'm an organizer of a meetup
yes,
group,
yes,
and I know like I have a big social circle now because of that. And I'm like, I look at this, I'm like, I created all this for myself. And what is it that I'm not creating? I'm trying to think to myself, what is it that I'm not creating right now in my
right.
life? I can
That's
create.
like with me. If I didn't take the leap and join MOD's MEN this year, Masculine Power Network, this wouldn't be happening. I mean, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be talking to Alfie or Dre or Sharp or any of them. None of this would be happening. I'd still be stuck in the rut and wondering why. And yeah, I mean,
Right,
yeah,
exactly. And we all have the power to go out there and create what it is we want for ourselves, and you
exactly.
got to figure out what's holding you back, and just deal with that, or figure out a solution where you can work around that, or do what you have to do to do it. Like, and I realized, these past couple months, like, some of the things that are keeping me back from developing in certain areas, and I know what I have to do, and I have to go out and act upon that. Even though I've been really tired and super busy. I
Oh
still have
yeah,
to do it. If I can't do it 100%, my goal is to get it like 100%. But I realize like you can, if you go out there, take the action and go make an attempt to create it, and you do what needs to be done, and you deal with the setbacks, and you just, not let shit get you back. Like you'll make it, and then you'll say, you'll like look at yourself a year or two later, be like, oh my, when you're finally had the success that you want, and then you'll be like, holy crap, I'm glad I did this because I'm a totally different person now.
right. Oh yeah, yeah. That's like with me and I had a spontaneous action about 3 summers ago. I said fuck it, and I went to visit my buddy in Kentucky. We went cliff diving.
Oh wow, cool. What was that like?
Ah, it actually wasn't that bad. Surprisingly, it's if I could find places that were higher up, I'd be happy and pig and shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh man,
No, that's always good. But I mean, that's just what you got to do, man. You got to go out. You got to just do that stuff. But yeah, do what. I mean, don't try new things in your life. Experience, like, figure out what it is
experience
you want
life.
to
Yeah.
experience. I mean, yeah, go out there and experience life rather than be pent up in your home all day. I mean, so, sometimes I've been doing so much that I just have to take a break sometimes, and I do want to just chill by myself. Like
Oh yeah.
I've been taking it easy this past couple of days. With the holidays going on, me going back home. It's like I need that time. I need just time to recharge because I've been doing like so much.
Yeah, I understand completely. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Honestly, that's what I've been doing for 3 days. So
Hmm.
you need that refocus. That you it's like that energizer bunny. You keep going and going and going, and someday sooner you just kind of burn
Right.
out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, hey, man. Any closing thoughts before we end this show here?
No, sir, I got nothing.
All right, man. Hey, well, I want to thank you for coming on. I definitely would like to do another show with you, and I come back and everything.
I'm down. I
I've
would
had a great
greatly
time. I
appreciate
know
it
you
for
had a
sure.
YouTube channel. You have a
I
YouTube
got
channel?
one, but it's like it's underdeveloped and it's like 5 subscribers. Alfie's in it. I just got a couple videos and an old wrestling match on it, but it's a work in progress.
Cool. What are you going to do with that?
Like I said, my buddy decided to give me an idea. He wants to do a podcast. The name he thought of was, what was the name? The podcast with the Outcast, because I was called the Outcast Damian Walker when I wrestled. So that's his idea.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, his name, but he wants to talk about certain things, wrestling, any topic. I mean, there's more ideas that I got in my mind, but it's like every time I think of something, I have to write it down or I'm going to forget it. So I got like this poster board here that's gonna I got ideas on. So
right. No, I get that way too, man. So, but yeah, man, thank you very much for coming on the show. And like, yeah, we'll do something next month and everything.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and guys, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel down below.
Yes.
As you saw, yesterday on Monday, I released a preview where I go out and interview girls, ask them dating questions. That was just some stuff that I recorded back in September. I'm going to continue to do that next year. It's going to be even better than what I was on the last film because I was just kind of new to that. But so I look forward to that. I'm going to have more of like other special guests here on the show, like always, bring you some stuff that's going to help you level up in life. So you don't want to miss out on that. And thank